Studying abroad is one of the biggest decisions in your life. Planning for it with ample amount of research is very critical. Therefore, it is necessary to understand your options well and plan your journey to study abroad accordingly. Studying abroad is an overwhelming process which includes researching various destinations, universities, courses, creating your application, attending your visa interview, and finally packing and leaving for your dream journey. But you don't have to worry because in this video, I will take you through this process step by step. So first and foremost, the most important step towards planning your study abroad adventure is find out which country you want to study in. Hence, it is necessary to conduct research on scope of your course, education system, employment opportunities, living cost, and even health support service offered in the host country. It is always better to start preparing in advance at least 10 to 12 months before your targeted intake. So it's best to start as early as possible. When I talk about intakes, you should know how many intakes are there in a year. Generally, there are 3 intakes in a year. It could be more or it could be less depending on the country you're applying for or the institution you're going to. January-February intake, also known as spring intake. Second is May intake, is also known as summer intake, which is a smaller intake compared to others. And the most important for you is September intake. It is also known as fall intake and is one of the major intake for international students. I'm listing 10 important steps so that you can make the most out of your study abroad experience. First is research, research and research. How much research is too much research when it comes to finding the right college for yourself? Finding the perfect list of colleges for you from over thousands of options can be a very difficult task. To decide on a university or a program, you must consider a very important factor like your previous education, your area of interest, the scope of a program and career opportunities in that field, finances, eligibility criteria, and many more important factors like looking upon the teaching modules, research opportunities, scholarship offerings, assistantship, campus life, employment prospects, accreditations and rankings before you narrow down your selection. You can ask your friends and family or reach out to the alumni of universities you're interested in through LinkedIn for wider perspective. Also, make sure you include your budget and available scholarship as a part of your research. Another thing to keep a note of is that the university rankings are just for reference and cannot be relied on because many institutions do not participate in them. Also, keep in mind the university or college may be ranked on top, but you need to check how well the program is placed in that university. For example, a university or a college may be ranked number 1 for health program, but may not be for management related programs. So always keep this thing in your mind that how well the program is placed in that university or a college. Therefore, you must do your own research and connect with our expert who can help you with all this research. Consult IDP expert. In fact, when you need help with the research, you can reach out to our counselors and they will be happy to help. Honestly, we all know the application process and planning is not easy. So you should remember to take help and don't worry, all IDP counseling services are free of charge. You can always reach out and make your counselor part of your research. Whenever you're ready, just make an appointment with our counselors and they will help you get through the process stress-free. The counselors are professionally certified and many have been international students themselves with first-hand professional and personal experience from different locations all over the world. Make sure to bring your wish list and course preference along with you to your appointment as a starting point. Your counselor will work through all the big and small details to ensure the best possible fit between you, your future university, and your area of study. Understanding your finances, savings, loan, or scholarships. Figure out the source of your funding. If you want to apply for scholarships and if you land a good one, it may help you lower your education cost to a huge extent. Remember that it's not just the tuition fee you have to be concerned about. International education expenses also include living costs such as accommodation, stationery, travel, and other expenses. When in doubt, IDP expert can help find the right scholarships for you. There are government, private, and institutional scholarships which are mostly listed on the university website. You can check all these, but remember to keep in mind the deadlines as these scholarships get filled very quickly. Your IDP counselor will be the best person to help find the right scholarship for you and let you know about the deadlines. How to find the scholarship? Check out the detailed video on our channel. Tests required. I know tests are my least favorite part too, but that too is very necessary step. Almost all the universities and colleges require scores of an approved English language proficiency test such as IELTS. Certain programs may also ask for other tests such as GRE, GMAT or SAT scores. Some universities do mention the average test score required for admission, and this would also help you know which universities are suitable for your profile. Test requirements vary from institution to institution, and it's always good that you check those before applying. If you're unable to figure out which test to give for the country you want to apply to, you can approach our counselors who would help you know the tests required for the admission to the universities your profile fits into. IELTS or an English language test is required for most of English-speaking countries. Other tests like SAT, GMAT, GRE are mostly required by the US institutions. The US requires SAT for undergraduate program and GMAT and GRE for master's program, which is again not mandatory and you need to check with the institution. Make your application. Course check, university check, test check. It is now time to apply to your chosen institutions. Your application has many parts to it. It will include the application form, application fee, transcripts, test scores, essays, SOP or statement of purpose, one of the most important document of your application. You can check our video on this topic which gives you tips about how to make the best SOP. More extracurricular activities, resume, letter of recommendation, test scores, English proficiency test scores, etc. are also required. Before sending, make sure you review each component of the application as this would make or break your admission chances. Again, if you're in doubt, you can consult the IDP counselors who are highly qualified to review every part of your application. In fact, they will personally contact the chosen university or school to smoothen out the process and help improve your chances of acceptance. Sixth, offer acceptance. Once your application is received, the university or institution will assess it thoroughly and notify you of the verdict. It usually takes up a few weeks or longer for your application to be processed, so now we wait. If your application is successfully selected, you'll receive a letter of offer and an acceptance form. Before you accept the offer, make sure that you go through it carefully and check for any condition that may apply. At times, there is a chance that you may get accepted for more than one course or institution. In that case, your counselor is your go-to person who will help you decide on the best option for you. Also, if you want to make your application process faster, use one of the IDP exclusive service where you can submit your application through IDP Fastlane, which is a service available in the IDP Live app where you can get your offer in principle in minutes from the institution you wish to apply. Because institutions review IDP Fastlane application before other normal applications and the process is up to 3 times faster and you will receive your final offer within no time. Through this app, you can also check your eligibility for particular institution before you apply. We have a separate video about IDP Fastlane process. You can check it out on our IDP YouTube channel. Basic tips when you apply to overseas university. Get your university acknowledgement. Get your personal login details if any. Get your student reference number. Start following up with your counselor for offer within turnaround time. Read your offer letter in detail, get clarity on finances, read your university refund policy before paying the deposit. If you miss these basic checks, that means your application is not going in the right direction. It's time for you to be serious. Student visa process. Now we are nearing the end of the process. This is where we get excited because you're just one step away from your dream. But this is also that one step which will decide your future, so you should be very careful. After accepting the offer letter, you have to apply for your student visa. Most countries allow you to apply for student visa 3 months in advance from the day of your arrival. In fact, each country has its own set of formalities to fulfill. For example, in the US, you would be required to complete some forms with most recent and accurate information, along with biometrics and an interview at the US Embassy. Yes, for the US student visa, you have to appear face-to-face, unlike other countries where it is mostly an online submission process. We have made a detailed video on this where we are talking about do's and don'ts of your visa interview. You can definitely check that out. For Canada, it is very simple and easy process. Submit your application at the IRCC website. Post that, you will get your biometric done. For Canada, it is a big relief that no personal interview is required. It's a complete online visa process. For Australia, applicants are required to satisfy genuine temporary entrant criteria and provide supporting documents with their visa application. For the UK, you have to complete the online application form followed by the biometric appointment at the VFS office. For Ireland, very similar to UK, where you have to complete the online application form followed by the biometric appointment at the VFS office. For New Zealand, you have to submit your application online and send the passport to the nearest VFS center. Here, for some student, interviews may be conducted by immigration. All this information might worry you and will make you feel overwhelmed, but I assure you that you have help at your disposal wherever you need it, at any stage of your application and planning process. Your IDP counselors will guide you through the visa application process along with mock interviews and prepare the documents needed for your submission. In fact, IDP counselors usually take several mock sessions before your interview, which would help you to answer the questions confidently. Figure out where you live, accommodation. Honestly speaking, accommodation are quite expensive in other countries. If you have not been offered on-campus accommodation, you'll have to figure out where to live when studying abroad. You can look for rooms on rent, homestay, or find a local host. The cost will vary from city to city and country to country. If you opt to rent an apartment, you will have to additionally pay for utility bills like electricity, internet, water usage, and also tenants insurance, which might prove costly for you. If you have no lead for accommodation, you can always count on your IDP counselors for help. They will even help you find the right accommodation that fits your profile and budget. Book your flights in time. Make sure you book your flights well in advance. Try and look at the options with good amount of time in hand so that you can monitor the price change and book at the lowest fare. You should always check for the entry requirement in your host country and baggage allowance fees. Ready, set, go. Congratulations, you're off to a huge adventure. There will be many small yet important to-do things you need to consider before flying abroad. Apart from packing your favorite pickle, there are several other things you must be aware of, like exchanging currency, insurance, accommodation, SIM cards, opening a bank account. Again, IDP can assist you with this facility. We will help you end to end. Knowing about the country's rules and regulation before moving to a country, that's a must, and adapting to a new culture, of course. Again, don't worry if you feel you've left out something from this list. IDP hosts a regular pre-departure session and prepare you in advance. You can also get acquainted with other students even before you land in your study abroad destination during these pre-departure sessions. I'm super sure that this will prepare you for a new life in your new country. Researching, planning, and executing the process to realize your dream to study abroad can be exhausting and energy consuming, and sometimes can leave you feeling directionless, which is why IDP counselors have offered their services to make your transition process easier and more satisfying. So make sure you do enough planning before leaving and living your dream. If you have the dream, we will show you the way. Don't forget to subscribe to IDP YouTube channel for more insights on study abroad.